Hebrews chapter 2, section 4, Captain of our salvation. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 10 states, "For it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons into glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings." The captain of our salvation bringeth the sons to glory. Here we see the creator and heir of all things becoming the captain of our salvation to bring us into glory. For this, he was perfected through sufferings. His suffering was a preparation for him to be identified with us so that he could be our high priest. He was qualified for his ministry. Without Hebrews, we do not really see his present ministry. We think he is up there as a carpenter building the New Jerusalem. And if you listen close, you will hear him hammering away, quote unquote, at your mansion. But in reality, he is the heavenly high priest, according to the order of Melchizedek, who was perfected through sufferings to be qualified for this role. And he tasted our death. That becomes very important later. This was all to bring us into glory. That has to do with the seed of his divine life within us being nurtured, watered, sprouting up, bearing fruit, and then blossoming so that we are conformed to his image and glorified. That is his work. Regeneration, growth, and ultimately glorification is not something that just happens. It is something he is actually doing by ministering his life in a way that we can barely understand. He is giving himself to us and pouring himself out upon us and dispensing himself into us in order to saturate us with himself. Eventually, he will bring us into glory to glorify us, and in this work, he is the captain of our salvation. This is also an allusion to Joshua, who we will see referenced in Hebrews chapter 4. Joshua met the quote-unquote captain of the Lord's host in Joshua chapter 5, who ultimately and supernaturally led the Lord's people into the land to take Jericho. That was a quote-unquote theophany, which is an Old Testament appearance of Christ, the pre-incarnate Christ. And he was bringing the people of God into their rest. Jesus, who is our Joshua, is also our captain to bring us into glory, to ultimately reign with him. So this is the great salvation that we must not neglect. How great is this salvation? It subjects the world to come to us. It subjects angels to us. It enthrones us with Christ and puts everything under our feet. And we now see Jesus. And in this salvation, he was made lower than angels and crowned with glory and honor. He tasted death for every one of us so that he could become the captain of salvation and bring us into the glorious reality of our inheritance and rest. Everything ultimately will be subjected to us, and we will reign with him. He was perfected for this through all his sufferings. What a great salvation!